The team sheets are in for the Anzac Day clash and we have a big show for you, including Dane Swan reflecting on those 2 goals that helped him win the Anzac medal last year. I'm Sarah Allen and joining me in studio is our Director of Football, Neil Balme. And Neil, it's an exciting week for the club. We have 8 Anzac Day debutants.
Oh, it's always a great day for footy and particularly for the Collingwood Footy Club. But those 8 boys who are playing their first game will be very nervous about it, but looking forward to it. It should be terrific. Now, from a team selection point of view, we're fortunate that Taylor Adams has recovered from his injured toe last week and he'll be in the side. And that, unfortunately, there has to be someone out of the side, so Paddy Carnesis misses out. He did a terrific job as our sub last week and we wanted to play him, but we can only play 22 unfortunately, but Taylor's in. Let's have a look at who the match committee selected for the round 4 match. We'll start with the back line where we have Alan Tuvey, Nathan Brown and Marley Williams. In front of them you'll see Tom Langdon, Jack Frost and Jackson Ramsey. In the midfield, the match committee has selected Brodie Grundy in the ruck, Taylor Adams comes back in and the skipper Scott Pendlebury. They'll be assisted by Travis Varcoe, who, Neil, was an inspired man last week. Oh yes, he loves these occasions. He can't wait for the whole Anzac Day experience, but last week he showed us what he's capable of. The work he did, if you can see some of the footage here, particularly in that second quarter when the pressure he put on the other team, and he was very good with the ball as well. He kicked a goal and did a few other nice things, but the actual work he did putting pressure on the other team to make opportunities for everyone else was exactly what we recruited him for, and it's what we've been expecting. So I think he'd be pretty pleased with himself, but if he does that again on Saturday, we'll be very pleased. It was a fantastic effort by Travis Varcoe there. In the midfield, he'll line up alongside Dane Swan and Jack Crisp. And in front of them in the forward line is Jamie Elliott, Jesse White and Tim Broomhead. They'll be assisted by Tyson Goldsack, Travis Cloak and Jared Blair. On the interchange you'll find 2 of our debutants in Adam Oxley and Corey Galt. They're joined by Paul Seedsman and Sam Dwyer. And the emergencies this week, we have Darcy Moore again for the 2nd week, Patrick Carnesis and Jordan DeGoey. Now we're joined by Collingwood Media's Glenn Moriarty, who is down at training earlier today. Glenn, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Sarah. Collingwood Media was at training this afternoon filming all the action. We also had the opportunity to catch up with 3 players that will take to the field in their very first Anzac Day blockbuster.
Still trying to hit me now. Pretty excited though. It's going to be pretty big. 100 years since they landed at Gallipoli, so yeah, it's going to be a big game and I'm really excited for it. I haven't played it in front of a crowd so big, so something like that for me is huge. It's going to be 80,000 plus people and probably my biggest crowd that I've played in, so it's going to be huge for me. It's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I can't wait. Obviously sort of penciled this one in at the start of the year behind a grand final with intensity like, and really looking forward to getting out there in front of sort of 100,000+ people hopefully. Seeing it as a real privilege to sort of pay my respects to those that sort of have gone before me, and yeah, just really can't wait to get out there. Yeah, I haven't really missed a dawn service since I was pretty young, so I sort of always honoured my respects to those. Back, growing up since I was a young kid and obviously watched those games with a lot of interest. So yeah, it's something that I really pay my respects to, that's for sure.
Yeah, obviously pretty excited, just like the rest of the guys that it's their first Anzac Day, but it's I guess I've heard you're liking it to finals, and it's a pretty significant day in our history. So excited to get out there and be a part of it. I don't really know what to expect. From the outside looking in, before I got here, you're pretty envious of these 2 teams that get to battle it out on Anzac Day. So I'm looking forward to just getting out there and pulling on the jumper for Collingwood and doing our best.
Well, as you can see, Sarah, we have some very excited players ahead of the big game on Saturday. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks for that report, Glenn. Well, Balme, it's interesting. We've gone with the 3 talls again this week in Travis Cloak, Jesse White and Corey Galt. Can you talk us through that decision?
Yeah, well, there's a little bit of a risk behind it because it's possible that it could rain and it does make it a bit harder for them. But all of these guys are relatively good on the ground. They know that a part of their footy is lead up. It's not just going for the longer kicks in, but we do like to have targets for the longer kick in. But the other reality too is that with the interchange, there won't always be 3 there. There could well be one of the blokes off the bench or a shorter player there as well. But they need to support Brodie in the ruck also. The work that he's done over the last few weeks has been quite extraordinary. I don't think he'll be able to keep it up for the whole year, so we need to, both Jesse and Corey can support him relatively well in the ruck as well. So, we think that we did pretty well with it. I mean, Corey has got a lot of growth in him. He could become a very, very good player there. He's a forward who rucks probably predominantly, but he went for the ball really well last week. He creates opportunities for others, and Jesse's been playing very well there, and Brodie does the work in the ruck. We want him to play forward a little bit too, so there's some good opportunities there for them. But there's a bit of, if it rains, there's obviously a bit of a risk, but they do work pretty well on the ground as well.
Let's hope we get the same result that we did against St Kilda when we lined the three talls up together. In this week's analytical feature, we've given the reins to last year's Anzac Day medalist Dane Swan. Now he's going to shed some light on those two special goals he kicked in the 2014 win.
G'day everyone. This week's obviously Anzac Day, which is the biggest home and away game of the year, and seeing as I was lucky enough to win the medal last year, got a treat for you tonight. We're going to run through a couple of my goals from last year and show exactly what happened and how I kicked them. So here we go. So this is the broadcast vision. So I just slipped onto the ground and snuck forward after a stoppage, and obviously that's what you see there. But Piero, so I've just slipped onto the bench here. Probably took a colour licensing. I must have started being forward. I think someone else started on the bench. I got a goal side of him, and just there I was looking inside as the selfless player I am, looking inside to give off to a teammate, but didn't see anyone. So I thought I had probably a little bit more leg speed than Hooker, so took it on and away we went. Got a little bit more confidence up, and my tail was up after the last goal I just kicked. So come into the stoppage, looking for the ball. Ball bounces, kind of get it, and keep following the ball as a decent midfielder should do. And I don't have much room to go, so unfortunately for the Essendon defender, he kind of runs at me, and so it's thankfully for us, I kind of get a fairly good piece of his chest and managed to push him out of the way. And yeah, they were the two goals that probably broke the back of Essendon a little bit, I reckon, and hopefully I can get a couple more like that on the weekend. It'd be great. And yeah, like I said, those probably broke the back of Essendon a bit, and thankfully it was me who kicked them, and hopefully I can kick a couple more on the weekend. Or firstly, we wouldn't mind not being 7 goals down a quarter time. That'd probably be a handy start. But you know, it's an unbelievable game, an unbelievable event. It's something we're very privileged and honoured to play in every year. Something that's not lost on me, and to play well in the biggest game of the year outside of a grand final is something that is very special to me, and hopefully I can do it again. And you know, if I kick a couple of goals, anything like that on the weekend, well, I'll be very happy.
Well, if he plays like he did last round, he may just win another Anzac Day medal. Balme, thank you so much for joining us in the Team Sheet studio.
Oh, a pleasure to be here, particularly before the big Anzac Day game. It's such a privilege to be involved in.
And thank you for watching this special edition of Team Sheet on the eve of Anzac Day. Enjoy the match. Go Pies.